Bit Squad, welcome to the show. I am your host, the BitBoy. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the volatile week that we have ahead. We're definitely going to be having a lot of movement on the crypto market this week, one way or the other. Hopefully, it's going to be bullish. I think it's going to be, but we will have sometimes a volatility where it goes negative or bearish for sure. Whenever you have these FOMC meetings, there's always wild volatility. So volatility is good because that's one of the things that allows us to be able to make money in crypto. You got to know when to long and know when to short. We also have our Phemex competition going on right now, our Phemex trading competition. So super excited about that. It has kicked off. So if you want to join, I will put the trading competition link in the chat. There it is. So you guys can check that out. Good morning, GQ Patrol. That's an interesting name. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Good morning, NFF. Nice to see you. Harley Z is in the house. Good morning. Let's go ahead and get started looking at CoinGecko. Oops, hold on one second. There we go. All right. That's a funny name. Okay. All right, so here we are on CoinGecko. Looking at the top numbers here, we are back. We went under 4 trillion for a bit. We're back 4.137 trillion. Maybe that was on a different site that tracks it a little bit differently because that can happen too. 24-hour volume down 128 billion, not horrible. Bitcoin dominance 55.6% and ETH dominance picking up some speed at 13.4%. Also, e-transactions, I think, are at an all-time high or somewhere close to that. We're going to look at it in a story. I may not have got that exactly right. But it's interesting that the gas is now under 1. It is at 0.268 Gwei, which is just so insane to see, especially when we're not in a bear market. Like we're in a bull market and things are positive and the fees are so low on Ethereum, nobody even thinks about it. What's up? Good to see everybody. Yeah, I got my coffee too. Okay. Looking at Bitcoin coming in at 115,000. I don't know if that's the right number. Let's double check that. That is not correct. We were looking at the numbers. Okay. Let's try this again, guys. We're at 4.087 trillion. I'm sorry, I had to refresh. We're at 162 billion in volume, so very healthy on the volume actually. ETH down 0.1. Now the Gwei now is at 5, which is so insane to see it at 0.2, but now it is back at 5. So cover Avantis. That thing is ripping, isn't it? So a guy got a 20x with that. In our trading group. If you want to join our trading group, by the way, I'll put that link in there as well. You got to get verified. You got to trade on Phemex. Got to trade on Phemex to get into the group. So anyways, back to this Avantis. What is this? Where's it at right now? Ranked 275. But it is ripped. As you can see, it was all the way down to 20 cents earlier this week, and now it's all the way up at, well, it went to $1.37. Is that right? $1.41. Right now it's at $1.10. So the thing has been moving. If you caught all those moves, that would be pretty great. It just launched. Looks like a few days ago. So yeah, it is really moving and grooving. Looking at the DeSci narrative, I know quite a bit about DeSci, but I don't see it really popping off this cycle. I don't think. We'll see. Oh, as you guys know, or you could tell, I'm 30 minutes early today. I've got an appointment a little bit later I got to get to, so we're going to end at 11:30 today. Okay, so Bitcoin coming in at $114,656. Ethereum coming in at 4,516. Right now, I've got a few things going on here. I've got a short on not USDT, which is the ton coin, meme coin, I believe. It's ton backwards, not. And then along with Ethereum and along with Bitcoin. So I think we're going to see these numbers go back up. I think we're going to range for a while in between 14 and 16 for a while. I mean, maybe today and tomorrow. But as we get closer to that FOMC meeting, interesting stuff going on. So, and I meant to pull a story specifically about that, and I don't know where it went. XRP coming in at $3. We're going to take a look at XRP today on the show. We're going to take a look at Ethereum on the show, Solana on the show. I think that's mainly the ones we're going to take a look at today. Let's see here. Let's read these two stories first. The crypto market is hesitant to rewrite its highs until the FOMC. I kind of believe that is the case, but we'll see. Crypto market cap reached 4.09 trillion over the weekend, approaching the peak level set a month earlier. The initial impetus came from positive dynamics in the U.S. stock market on Friday, thanks to technology stocks. Everything was down today except for Solana, which was it retraced over the last 24 hours. But Solana is doing real well. I don't think it's coincidence. It's after they had that upgrade. It makes it a lot faster. So Bitcoin ran into resistance at 116K, but itself is drying off as it approaches 114K, turning the 50-day moving average back into support. So here's the here's our contest link. All you got to do is hit register here, and then it'll turn into trade. And for some of you guys that I'm going to say this again, I've said it a few times. For any of you guys who have tried to sign up for Phemex before and it didn't work, try my link. Try my link and give it a shot, because I think it may work for a lot of you guys. But we're giving away an iPhone 16 Pro Max. So you want a brand new phone, you want a big phone, you want the latest phone, here you go. That's how you do it. And then we've got $2,000 USDT bonus for second place, $12.99 for third place, and then a share of $4,500 for 4 through 10 places. And then this is a community rewards. It depends on how much volume we get for our trading competition. So guys, go ahead and make sure to join that. So this orange line, the orange one right here, as you can see, that's what they're talking about. That's on the 4-hour chart. I don't know if they said what chart they were looking at. I don't think they did. But anyways, it bounced off the 50-day moving average. It seems Bitcoin has found a temporary balance until the FOMC meeting results are announced. Quarter point cut is already priced in. So it looks like we're getting a 0.25% cut. If we were to actually go to the FedWatch tool and actually look, only 2 days left, guys, only 2 days. They know everybody's waiting on that countdown. The chance of a 50% cut, or not 50%, a 50 BIP cut is down to 3.8%. We saw it as high as 11 or 12%. But now it's almost the conclusion, I believe, as we've gotten closer, that it's going to be a 25 BIP cut. So that's going to happen. Some people are saying, oh, we don't know exactly what's going to happen to the mean. We don't know if they're going to cut rates. They are going to cut rates. Don't worry about that. Would have liked to see 50, but the inflation came in, ticked a little bit above what it was expected, which is why I think we're pretty much guaranteed to get a 25 BIP cut. 25 point cut, 25 BIP cut, however you want to say it. A willingness to further cut rates in the foreseeable future could inspire Bitcoin to march towards new all-time highs, which I think we're going to get. According to Soso Value, net flows in Bitcoin ETFs jumped tenfold, so that was good. And flows into spot Ethereum ETFs resumed last week. That was weird. But let's see, amounting to 63.7 million, offsetting 80% of the previous week's outflows. So we also have, guys, we have in October and November, this news coming on the BlackRock, Fidelity, and Franklin Templeton Ethereum ETFs until the end of October. Oops. I don't know why I read that. Until the end of October, November. I've already told you guys that. And let's see, something about Solana here. The crypto industry has entered the Solana season. A key factor was Forward Industries' launch of the largest SOL treasury worth $1.6 billion. Against this background, Galaxy Digital purchased 2.31 million SOL worth $536 million for its reserves. So we're going to talk more about that later. And I had another Bitcoin story for you guys, and I don't see it. Where'd it go? That's okay. We don't have to cover it too much. Let's go back to the chart here and take a look at what Bitcoin is doing right now. Let's go to the hourly chart. Now on the hourly chart, it looks like we're about to get a green dot. We should get one very soon to see the turn up. But of course, that's not guaranteed. I mean, the RSI just is flatlined. Both lines have just flatlined here. So very interesting. It could, this blue wave down here could get a lot bigger still. Let's see here. So these are our moving averages. We have the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200. And you can see when we go down to the hour chart that the 100-day is actually has turned into some resistance for us here. And then on the 200-day, you can see it's still well above that, which is good. We don't want to see it go below that, you know, on the hourly chart. Let's look at the daily chart. Daily chart, we've already had a big drop. So we got a red dot down here, which is bearish. And then you can see in that candle, we got a huge drop. After it went up a little bit, then it went all the way from 116 all the way down to 114.3, or actually, yeah, 114.3. So this red dot may have already played out. When you look at some of these other ones, let's see. Some of these other ones where we've gotten red dots, those got instantly nullified. Well, the red dots have been holding pretty strong, actually, on the daily chart. When we get one of those red dots, it has gone down for several days in a row. But I don't think we're going to see that here. Why? Because we have the FOMC meeting coming up here in a couple days. So I did have one more story I wanted to cover. Maybe I can find it again real quick. Here it is. Crypto's trading the red as FOMC nears. And this is the volatility we're talking about. When you have so many, so much trading going around and so many people anticipating what's going to happen with this meeting, you have to wonder maybe if a price pump is already baked in because everybody knows now it's going to be 25 bips. But when it actually happens, that is why you can see some volatility, because you'll have people that don't pay attention every day. They pay attention that day and they see what it's done, and they'll, you know, the FOMC meeting, and they'll go make decisions based on that. We see wild spikes of volume and wild spikes of price and wild dips of price, you know, whenever these meetings occur. So they're saying right here, I want to read this. Solana also appears to be impacted by the slump in the shares of NVIDIA following China saying that the company violated antitrust laws in China. So cryptocurrency market cap has decreased close to 2% in the last couple of days. With just two days to go for the Fed's next interest rate review, Fed rate cut hopes remain strong. The Fed is widely expected to slash rates by a 1/4 percentage point. We already talked about these numbers and talked about that. Close to 80 out of the top 100 cryptocurrencies are trading with overnight losses of more than 1%. On the contrary, only 5 are trading with overnight gains of more than 1%. So rate cut Thursday, longs liquidated Friday. Don't they usually see? It's a 2-day meeting, isn't it? So I guess Thursday. Is it Thursday or is it Wednesday that we'll find out? I'm reading the comments over here. Longs liquidated Friday. Yeah, that makes sense. Ellie says she's going to hang on to some dry powder. Do I think we bottomed out? Well, I have a long on Bitcoin, so I do. I think it's bottomed out. But you can see I'm not winning this trade right now. I'm barely losing it. Just down $250. It's nothing. So in our trading group, some people are putting out signals to go long on Bitcoin and long on Ethereum. So that's what I've done, and I've got a short on Toncoin. No. I got a short on Notcoin. So a meme coin and the major cryptos, they can certainly move opposite directions at the same time, unless of course Bitcoin were to get a huge drop, then everything drops with it. Let's see, here we go. Ethereum also dropped 2.2% overnight, traded 4,500. It's 9% below its all-time high. Third ranked XRP slipped 2%, traded 298. We're going to look at XRP in a second. Let's go ahead and actually start talking about Ethereum here. ETH bulls, I have 5K as liquidity clears and hits demand records. This was a few days ago. I wanted to go ahead and cover this though. Dan Crypto Trades reported that Ethereum has cleared nearby liquidity after moving to 4,500. He said spots to watch are 46.35 and 46.60. This did not play out like they thought it was going to. This was a story from late on Friday when the market had moved positively. Institutional demand continues to grow, though, for Ethereum. It's been supported by rising institutional and holder activity. The increase accelerated through 2025 as the price moved above 4,000, blah, 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 blah. Balances are strong. Ethereum has cleared clear liquidity levels and broken out at 4,500. But then Bitcoin, we saw what Bitcoin did. Whatever Bitcoin does, to some effect, it's going to have the same pull on all the top coins. What's the Arrow news? A big pump for Arrow. Didn't see that. Why this could be Ethereum's strongest cycle yet, and this is why I keep telling you guys and keep talking about that we are entering, I think, territory where we haven't been before. I believe this bull run is going to go at least into 2026, as well as there's a chance that we don't see a major drop-off. Whether we have a large drop-off or not, Bitcoin will still have meteoric rises in the next cycle, because the 4-year cycle is permanent. There's no such thing as anything other than the 4-year cycle. In the past, we've said something like, well, the bear markets are crypto winners, basically, where everything goes down negatively. But with the 4-year cycle, it's all based on the halving. The halving is every 4 years approximately. So we'll continue to get that cut of supply. And you see all these institutions grabbing Bitcoin right now, and they have been, as well as Ethereum. But, we're moving to a spot where I don't think we're going to see the same 4-year cycle we've seen before. I think we'll get improvements and we'll get, stuff going up during what should be the bullish part, but it may be the most bullish part because all of it could potentially keep going up. I mean, everything's not going to go up forever, of course. We'll have pullbacks, but a pullback from 128 all the way down to 112, like that's pretty dramatic in itself, right? So Ethereum rose above 4,600 on Friday. We talked about that. But Ethereum could be headed for its strongest cycle yet, according to analysts at CryptoQuant. And that you keep seeing more analysts who know what they're talking about saying the same thing I'm saying. At the time of the writing, Ethereum has been changing hands 4603 after blah, 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 blah. CryptoQuant head of research Julio Moreno credits institutional demand from treasury companies and spot ETFs and a steep uptick in staking as primary drivers, boosting the price of ETH. The synchronized accumulation indicates that Ethereum is increasingly viewed as a long-term strategic asset by large capital allocators, similar to Bitcoin's trajectory post-ETF approval. This level of institutional endorsement provides a robust long-term tailwind for Ethereum's price and perceived legitimacy. It's normal during big bull runs to see whales wake up and sell at least a portion of their holdings to take profits. After all, multi-year whales are usually sitting on substantial paper profits. But despite the bullish price action, waking a few Ethereum whales, several woke up to buy more, and at least one moved $645 million to ETH so they could stake it. Meanwhile, exchange inflows have declined, easing selling pressure, but realized price bands indicate ETH is approaching historically significant price resistance. He wrote in a report shared with Decrypt. Momentum is building among users on Myriad, which is a prediction market owned by Decrypt's parent. Okay, this is This is Decrypt showing its own stuff. So what that is. There are also signs that future traders are feeling more certain of where ETH could be headed. Open interest, which is a measurement of outstanding futures and options contracts on derivatives exchanges, has increased 3.4% in the past day. So that was, of course, a couple of days ago as well. But these are important stories I wanted to cover. Speaking of this, Binance Coin, or not Binance Coin, Binance itself, they did a 177.8 million XRP move, $4.50 in the crosshairs. This is what I've been telling you guys ever since it hit $3, that the next move is to $4.50. Whenever it finally gets enough support, it's going to go to $4.50, and then I would be selling like crazy at that point, because it'll go down again. Not because that will be the top, but it'll go down again for sure. According to Safe Crypto, that's a funny name. Excuse me, a massive XRP transfer just made waves across the crypto community. Where's the XRP army, of course, Master and Commander. 59 million XRP, valued at roughly 177.8 million, was moved by Binance, one of the world's largest crypto exchanges. Liquidity demand surging. So it looks like they're using this for liquidity with XRP. The eye-catching transaction underscores a surge in liquidity demand that may carry significant implications for both XRP traders and the broader markets. Large-scale transfers like this often fuel speculation. With XRP breaking out of consolidation and bullish momentum reigniting, the timing of the sudden liquidity surge has intensified market intrigue and sharpened focus on potential upside targets. XRP has long been recognized for its real-world utility in cross-border payments. So there, just like I said earlier, $178 million transfer underscores surging liquidity needs, signaling growing confidence from both institutional and retail players. I mean, look, it isn't necessarily their role as a bridge currency. I mean, we're getting a decision on the XRP ETF next month. So you got to think about that as well. So got to move on. We're running out of time here. Analyst updates outlook on XRP ahead of Fed rate cut decision. So if you're in XRP and you're wondering how the Fed rate cut will affect you, let's check this out. XRP is back in the spotlight after surging past $3, with some people laying out a bullish roadmap for the token in the weeks ahead. Hilton, who regularly shares market updates with his audience, pointed both Federal Reserve policy decisions and fourth quarter cycle as potential drivers. Everybody's eyes are on the September 17th meeting. Absolutely. There's a 100% chance that they're going to reduce the interest rate. I would just go ahead and say 100. It is happening. But a 25 basis point cut would likely leave crypto markets stable since it's already priced in. So that's what I was talking about earlier. The 25 is already priced in. We're not going to get a 50 bip cut. We talked about this last week and said that was a possibility because that the chances were growing there, but unfortunately it didn't actually happen. So according to Polymarket, traders put 91% odds on 25 BPS cut. I mean, there's no reason to think it's going to be 50 at this point. When it was moving, things were good. And now, of course, now the Fed rate, as we looked at a second ago, I mean, it's all the way down to 3.8% chance. And a 3.8% chance in my mind is basically a 0% chance. I don't think there's any way they're going to cut at 50 after the CPI, PPI numbers came out. Now, another coin that's been doing real well is Solana. Solana TVL hits 13 billion at all-time high, will follow with new price highs. Solana Network has seen a surge in user demand and network inflows, pushing its decentralized finance total locked, or TVL, to an all-time high of over $13 billion. As buying activity grows, SOL's prices also surged nearly 25% in the past week. We can come over here and we can see that. Right now, it's exactly 25.1%, or it was when we started the show. See where it's at now. 24.2% now. We dropped just a little bit more. Solana TVL rockets to all-time high as user activity surges. According to DeFi Llama, Solana's TVL is at an all-time high of 13.38 billion, having rocketed 18% in the past week. So you can see it's just doing, TVL is going, when you see a TVL go up, it doesn't always mean the price is going to go up, but it does show that there's increasing demand, which should potentially increase the prices. TVL for Solana sits at all-time high of 13.38 billion, rocketing by 18%. This is after they had the Alpenglow upgrade that made it a lot faster. Solana has experienced an uptick in daily active addresses and transactions, according to on-chain data provider Artemis. In the past week, the number of daily active addresses involved at least one Solana transaction or involving at least one Solana transaction is increased by 37%. So, can Solana break past $207 to reclaim all-time high? So, Sol is up 22% in the past week and currently trades at $246.91. Let's see. Highlights: strong demand could back or is back in the rally. We got more on Solana here. Solana rallies as Mike Novogratz calls Solana tailor-made for financial markets. Analysts seek $1,314. Wow. And guys, remember, we're getting, and this is funny to me. It's funny to me that when I looked up these stories, they're not really talking about the XRP ETF or the Solana ETF. They're just talking about the FOMC meeting, and they're talking about the analytics of the chain. But the reality is that ETF decision is going to be huge because we can pretty much assume it's going to be approved. But the SEC has not said as much. It hasn't given us any signs which way it's going. We just think it's going to get approved because the SEC is bullish now with Paul Atkins at the head. So to me, it's definitely something to watch. But Solana rallied $239 on Friday. Get this paused here. Above 239, extending its sharp September gains. Mike Novogratz described the blockchain as tailor-made for global financial markets. And analyst Ali Martinez charted a potential path to $1,314. Let's see if there's any graphics to go with that. It does not look like it. Novogratz, speaking on CNBC Squawk Box Thursday, laid out a sweeping bull case for Solana and crypto more broadly. He began by pointing to treasury companies tied to both ETH and Sol, which he said are raising billions of dollars and bringing lots of energy and money into the digital asset ecosystem. You guys have to know an IPO is going to, for Ripple as well, will be absolutely phenomenal for the market. We've seen these bear markets before where all the negative news comes out, where this got denied, this got put off, this exchange got hacked. This exchange turned out to be a giant scam the whole time. Like, we see that stuff over and over and over again, but I think we've squeezed enough out of that even if we had one or two instances of something bad, the market is strong enough to hold it. So, definitely very interesting. His detailed remarks focused on Solana and the changing regulatory landscape. Paul Atkins made clear he wants all markets to move on chain. The SEC chair has said that he wants all, like, on-chain capital markets. He wants all markets to move on chain. This guy who knows about crypto and understands it better than anybody who has came before him. Well, I don't know. I guess you could say Gary Gensler actually did know it very well. He just chose to fight it. There you go. This story was supposed to be more towards the beginning, but we talked about how the Gwei was down. Ethereum's paradox: usage at all-time highs as fees plummet. As the network gets more efficient, cheaper block space keeps revenue down. Ethereum is scaling into its role as the neutral settlement layer, value across the L2s and applications, not from squeezing L1 fees. This paradox on a usage versus revenue basis. Ethereum appears to be both winning and losing. Throughput is up. Monthly transactions and unique active addresses are at or near all-time highs. Costs down. Median and average transaction fees sit near cycle lows. Base fee Gwei is low and steady. Mix shift. Roll-ups are stuffing blobs at record levels. Users trade more, especially stables, with L1 fees up. Revenue craters. The base burn plus tips are far below 2021, 2022. Net issuance is low, but generally positive. So with Ethereum, you're getting the best of both worlds of the craters and the cost. And of course, what do we care the most about? We care the most about the price. So right now, the price has really been I want to call it fairly stable in between $4,000 and $5,000 for the last who knows how long, but we can't get enough to push up over the $5,000 mark. And I think I think it's going to happen probably here in a couple of days. I think after the Fed meeting, I think the price is going to go up, and I think we're going to see that $5,000 Ethereum finally. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. All of the pro FOMC stuff could be baked in, and it could take a giant dump. It could dump down in the markets when that comes out. So, guys, I had to do a quick show today. I know we started at a different time than normal, but appreciate everybody for watching. And I'll be back tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.